I remember back in 2011 is when I started my organization. And about 2013, I went to this great meeting for mental health. And they asked me, do you want to be on the mental health board or the committee? And I was like, I would love to be on the committee. There was over 100 community activists that were on there with their companies, their logos. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so great. And here I am, I'm just starting. And I thought, I don't think I should do this. And this gentleman sat by me and I had my paperwork, I'm taking notes because I'm a student at heart. And I'm taking notes and I guess I was sweating because I was taking notes so fast. And he pulls me over to the side and he goes, can I tell you something? He goes, can you slow down? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're going a little bit too fast. It'll come in time. Like, don't rush. You got this. And I was like, wow, no one has, my mom has told me that all the time. She still does. But to have a total stranger see me, working hard and, trying to make sure I'm taking all these notes. And he's like, it's going to take time. Just take notes, breathe, because I can see you're rushing. I can see your wheels turning. And I was like, I just want to make sure that my organization fits in. And he's like, you don't have to fit in. They'll come to you. And I think that really strengthened me during that time because I never saw him after that.
Welcome to the Kindness Factor podcast, sharing life-changing personal stories of the transformational impact of deep kindness. Hosted by
Dr. Elia, the happiness doctor,
and Randy McNeely, the kindness giver. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to another episode of the Kindness Factor podcast. I'm Randy McNeely, known as the kindness giver. I'm here and joined by my wonderful co-host, Dr. Elia Gourgouris, the happiness doctor, the super happy Greek. And we are so privileged today to have the honor of having Dr. Tristica McCray join us. She's the Secretary General of the World Kindness Movement. She's also the founder of an amazing company called Nerds Rule Inc. Elia is going to share a little bit more about her and about the wonderful things that she is doing.
And Dr. Tristica, welcome on our show. It's such a privilege and an honor, and so excited. So we got a great show ahead of us. Oh, so here we go. Dr. Tristica McCray is a visionary leader dedicated to fostering kindness and empowerment on a global scale, truly on a global scale. As the CEO and founder of Nerds Rule Inc., what a great name for her. There's got to be a story behind that for sure. She champions initiatives that promote inclusivity, education, and personal development amongst youth in underserved communities. Dr. McCray's commitment to social impact extends beyond borders as she serves as the Secretary General of the World Kindness Movement, advocating for compassion and unity worldwide. With a background in psychology and a passion for positive change, Dr. McCray continues to inspire individuals and organizations to create a brighter, more empathetic future for generations to come. Dr. Tristica, welcome to the show.
Hello, good morning. So happy to be here.
You're in sunny California, right?
Yeah, it's kind of gloomy this morning.
Not so sunny California today.
Not this morning. It's a lot of fog this morning.
I'm trying to remember. Are you in San Diego? Is that
yes, San Diego, California.
Well, we are just so thrilled to have you here. And of course, this being the Kindness Factor podcast, what we really love to share with our audience each week is the fascinating stories of our guests where they've had an encounter with kindness that has impacted their life, or encounters with kindness that have impacted their lives. And being the amazing kindness advocate that you are, we know you have lots of stories you could share. Would you be willing to share one that stands out to you that you might think our audience would appreciate?
I think like you said, I have a lot, but I think my favorite one is I had the opportunity to work with individuals during COVID. I was doing front and back office, checking in patients. And I think the best thing about all of us nurses and doctors and all of us serving during that time, we were kind to people that we were checking in. And, during that time, during COVID, it was very scary for people to check in to see if they were positive or negative or had anything. So that impact was so good because, we met them with a smile. We met them with, open arms, like everything's going to be okay. Here's a mask. But all the nurses and the staff that were there, doctors, we were so kind to people that were coming in. And I've always been excited to keep that motion going outside. And it has helped. Healthcare, people being kind, because you just never know when you're on that other side. And I have been on that other side where I've been sick and I needed someone to be kind to me. So patient care, I think that was the best season of my life of having that interaction with patients, being kind.
This is great. And I mean, nurses and doctors and staff were ground zero, honestly, during COVID, and they endured a lot. There was a lot of burnout. There was a lot of stress.
Mhm.
So having a wonderful and warm smile to welcome people in is great. But when were you on the receiving end, actually, of when somebody did an act of kindness towards you that really impacted your life and really set you on the path to become a kindness advocate?
So I remember back in 2000, so 2011 is when I started my organization. And about 2013, I went to this great meeting for mental health. And they asked me, do you want to be on the mental health board or the committee? And I was like, I would love to be on the committee. There was over 100 community activists that were on there with their companies, their logos. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so great. And here I am, I'm just starting. And I thought, I don't think I should do this. And this gentleman sat by me and I had my paperwork, I'm taking notes because I'm a student at heart. And I'm taking notes and I guess I was sweating because I was taking notes so fast. And he pulls me over to the side and he goes, can I tell you something? He goes, can you slow down? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're going a little bit too fast. It'll come in time. Like, don't rush. You got this. And I was like, wow, no one has, my mom has told me that all the time. She still does. But to have a total stranger see me, working hard and, trying to make sure I'm taking all these notes. And he's like, it's going to take time. Just take notes, breathe, because I can see you're rushing. I can see your wheels turning. And I was like, I just want to make sure that my organization fits in. And he's like, you don't have to fit in. They'll come to you. And I think that really strengthened me during that time because I never saw him after that. And I believe that was an angel that stopped by for that moment and just told me, it's going to be okay. You got this, kid. Because it's tough being an organization in a big pool. I was a small fish back in the day. And I was just swimming away. And he told me, stop swimming so hard. Just flow with the river, basically.
Can I want to say two things. First, I love what you said at the beginning about your experience with the patient care, because we all know how nervous we were and how wonderful it is to be able to go into a doctor's office and just have somebody there that's calm and can give you reassurance. Everything's gonna be fine. Just relax. Because we all, I don't like going to doctors. I just don't. It's just I have an aversion to going to doctor's offices if I can avoid it. And I'm always nervous when I go. I don't know why, I just am. And having someone there with a kind smile is a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
I love what you shared about this kind man recognizing the fact that you're in a situation where you were sweating bullets. You were going so fast. You were trying to take the notes, and And just to have that calming voice, it's okay to slow down.
Mhm.
You got this. Everything is going to be okay. You can work through this. It's amazing. Isn't it amazing how that just that simple statement changed your whole outlook?
Mhm.
And how many years ago was that? That was 2013, 11 years ago.
Mhm.
And you still remember it like it was yesterday.
Oh yeah, that was the best experience ever because that individual planted that seed. You know, when you plant seeds, they grow, and that seed was just absolutely on time.
And you know what's so beautiful about that? Because his statement was prophetic too. He'll come to you, and look at you now. You're not a small fish anymore. You're the Secretary General of the World Kindness Movement, a worldwide movement that you're spearheading. And Randy and I are both honored that we got invited to speak at your conference. Tell us a little bit in Palermo, Italy this fall, which is so exciting, bringing kindness advocates from all over the world. Tell us a little bit about this organization and your role in it and how it impacts kindness worldwide.
So the World Kindness Movement has actually changed my own nonprofit organization. What I mean by that, um, 2016, I met the general secretary back then in LA. They were doing this big event on kindness. And someone sent me an email and said, you really need to come to this kindness conference. This guy is amazing. You're going to learn so much. And I'm like, I had to drive to LA. That's like 2 hours away. Okay, I'll drive. And I went there and it was absolutely amazing. The people were so nice. The atmosphere was just so different. And I remember everyone, asked me about, what I was doing in my community and to change some of the language in my programs. So I
Mm.
did exactly what everyone told me. That following year, I got an email from the White House. During that time, Obama was in office, and I received a Changemaker Award from the White House. Got to Washington,
Wow.
D.C.,
Wow.
got introduced to the United Nations, and I was like, oh my God, kindness actually changed my bullying prevention program, my mentoring program. I mean, it was a good program, but putting the kindness, not just the word, but putting the curriculum together to show kindness to self. I didn't have that in my curriculum. I was just showing, students how to just do stuff, be kind, but not how showing the kindness back to themselves. And, here we go, 2018, 19, 20, I just kept doing the kindness into my curriculum. And the World Kindness Movement was watching, never knew that they were watching that close. And, I had a meeting with the president and the secretary general back then, and they were accepting applications. And they said, we'll get back to you. I said, no problem. I wasn't thinking about it. I said, if it comes to me, it comes to me. And that following month, I think they said, can we interview you? We want to talk to you about certain things we do in the World Kindness Movement. And after the interview, they said, we'll get back to you. And I said, sure. I was at work when I did the interview. I closed the door. I was like, oh, I'm not meeting this because it's over 40 nations and like all of us are on different time zones. So I was like, I'm taking this call in my office. I closed the door. I was working on a social media ad. And I said, no, I'll just go work. And, they told me, we accepted your application. We love what you're doing in the community. And, fast forward to what we're doing in October, I really wanted to focus on mental health. And I told the committee in Italy that I don't want to call it mental health awareness. I would love to call it mental wellness. Um, and they were like, okay, that sounds good. Let's do mental wellness. And the more we start talking about it, the more we start seeing the ripple effects going on around the world with mental health awareness. A lot of people start writing me and telling me, we don't have the resources that you guys have in the US. How can we learn about the resources that you guys have in the US? And I started bringing that to the community and to the committee. in Italy, and they said, we actually need the resources. And, Italy is going to be a big event. What I mean, like big, it's going to plant so many seeds because the speakers that we have, you two gentlemen are on the roster as well, are different. We are a rainbow of people that are going to be speaking from not only our own experiences, but we're going to be speaking about what we need to do now. We're not looking at the past anymore, because if the past was working, we would be doing some good things right now. But Italy is really going to plant some seeds, and we're going to be a family, and people are going to look at that rainbow of people and go, oh, you know what, I can have that in my community. Because when you see it, you want to be it.
Hello, I'm Randy McNeely, co-host of the Kindness Factor podcast and co-creator of the Kindness Factor Human Interest series. Thank you so much for listening. We sincerely appreciate you. So here's the question for you. Do the guests and the messages we're sharing resonate with you? If so, we'd like to invite you to join us in our efforts to spread love through kindness around the world. You can do so simply by visiting our Buzzsprout subscription page at the link listed in the description and taking out a monthly subscription. You can pay up to $10 per month. Your support will enable us to continue to deliver great content and to take our message to a much broader audience. Remember, with kindness, everybody wins. Thank you for your support. I love that. When you see it, you want to be it. That's beautiful.
That is beautiful. I mean, I had an opportunity to have a brunch with this beautiful young lady, and I have to tell you, and this is to our audience, her spirit, her light shines so bright. It's a combination of curiosity, and she's a student at heart. That's totally true. Curiosity coupled with humility, coupled with just this inner light. And, she's describing her life as if it's like, ho hum, I'm a small fish. Yeah, let me think. United Nations, White House, President Obama. Yeah, there are very few people that ever get to have anything like that. And you are so young, and your future is so bright. And the way that you're changing the world is such an example to men, women of color. I mean, you have such a unique opportunity to elevate. I can see young people just looking up to you and go, wow, if Dr. Tristica can do it, I can do it. Mm-hmm. And I know that can be a burden too sometimes, because there's a lot of responsibility when you're a public figure. But we're excited to come to Italy. We're just here to support you in your vision, and to do what we can to make that conference be not just planting seeds, but be something that will be talked about for years later, all over the world, in countries all over the world, people who will walk away from that and say, wow, there's so many takeaways, and there's so many good people all over the planet who are in sync, where kindness is part of their daily lives, and they have organizations that promote that. So we're both thankful, grateful, and excited.
And I'm so happy to have the both of you, be a part of this amazing event, because you two are powerhouses. Like, just your book, Randy, when Randy sent me his book, I was like, what? I went to the P.O. box. I was like, oh my gosh, I started crying. My mom's like, you are a crybaby. I was like, Randy sent me his book.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. I'm glad. I had no idea it had that kind of impact, but I'm glad that I'm glad I sent it to you.
But that's how we're going to reach people. The kindness, little small things. I mean, there was a lady that we made an honorary member. She was 102 years old, and she sent me a letter. She sent a handwritten letter, and I'm going to share it in Italy in October. So and I framed it. It's in my living room, and I'm like, yes. And she's been doing kindness for a very long time, and I love the letter. It's handwritten. People Beautiful. Don't do that anymore.
Oh.
that just the fact that she took the time. She's 102. She took the time to write it out by hand. That makes it just that much more endearing to you, doesn't it?
Such a baby. I cried when I opened the letter. I was like, oh my gosh, it's handwritten letters are so personal. That means they took the time to think of you and thank you for what you're doing. And she encouraged me to keep and continue on being kind because it's going to help in the long run.
My goodness, Tristica, you've shared so many beautiful things with us, and we could go on for a long time, but we're hitting the point where we need to ask you, we're going to ask you to share with our audience 3 nuggets, 3 pearls of wisdom about kindness that you think, that they would be useful for them as takeaways from today's conversation.
So 3, number 1, always be kind to yourself. Always. Number
Yes.
2, be kinder to your family members. Like you never know what they're going through in life. And number 3, be kinder to the surroundings that you're in. Sometimes we'll go to the store and someone will hit us with their basket and we'll turn around, or they might not be having a good day. So yourself, your family, and your surroundings, be kinder.
That's beautiful.
Succinct, simple, straightforward, actionable. Love it. Love it. Well, okay, so now here's the big question. If our audience wants to get in touch with Dr. Tristica McCray, and
It's not if they want to get in touch with you, where can they
when,
find you? It's not an if.
when our audience wants to get in touch with you, good point, Elia. When our audience wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
So email is the best way. It's info@nerdsrulinc.org or Secretary General at theworldkindnessmovement.org, or go to our website, www.nerdsrulinc.org, and look at all of our amazing programs that you may need for your community. And, join the movement. We're looking for new members for the World Kindness Movement. And also we're looking for new ambassadors for our ambassador program for Nerds Rule Inc.
Awesome. Well, can people also connect with you like on LinkedIn or Facebook or anything?
Yes, my LinkedIn is same thing, Dr. Tristica Nerds Rule Inc. They'll just type that in and I pop up.
All right. And Facebook, are you on there, or are you?
Yes, everyth's Nerds Rule Inc. Twitter as well, or sorry, it's not Twitter anymore, it's X.
What
They
about
can, yes, Instagram as well as Nerds Rule Inc. Everything, all platforms, Nerds Rule Inc.
Okay. Awesome. We thank you so much. I can't begin to thank you enough for taking the time to join with us, to share your beautiful smile, to share your amazing wisdom. Elia,
Thank you.
last thoughts that you'd like to share?
Arrivederci Roma. No, we'll see you in Italy. I mean, I'm counting the days until we're all together in Italy. It's going to be an amazing conference. I can't wait. Like, I wish it was tomorrow. Like, seriously.
Looking forward
to
it. Really
Bye.
looking forward to it. We want to thank
you for being on the show.
Thank you for coming on the show. We want to thank our audience for taking the time to join us today. If this has resonated with you, take the time, make sure you like and subscribe at all of our media channels listed below, and share it with as many friends as you can. Thanks, and remember, with kindness,
everybody wins.
Thank you very much.